Now, back to Matt Patrick and your morning news.
KTRH News Time is 7:16, and joining me right now is a gentleman I know that you all remember. His name is Joe Horn from Pasadena. Joe became a national figure, something he did not want. I was just talking to Joe off the air. He said, Matt, I'm not a talk show host like y'all, but I'm here to talk about this particular situation. And he says, I think I may have some light to shed on this. Joe, I want to first of all welcome you to Houston's Morning News. I want to thank you for taking the time. I know this is uncomfortable to be back in the public eye, but thank you, sir.
I appreciate that, Matt.
And, Joe, you know, we all recall what happened back in 2007 and then what happened afterwards as you fought for your right to do what you did, protecting your property, protecting your neighbor's property. And we have a story of a 15-year-old girl who is gaining lots of support in the community after she chased away a pair of burglars. And I've even suggested that maybe, Joe, we give gun safety classes in middle school. How do you feel about that story? And do you think kids should learn how to handle a gun?
I think under certain circumstances, I think the parents would have a lot to say about that. But in reality, this particular situation here, where this young lady had this gun, she might not anywhere be prepared to how to use it. What kind of gun was it? Did she know how to use it? Was it loaded? These kind of things become very important. So I really believe in knowledge. And I think the parents may have to step up and when things calm down with this young lady, to ask her, say, well, would you like to know something about it? I think it's a parent thing rather than something that should be automatic. And
was that the situation with you, Joe? Did you learn how to use a gun safely with your parents? Obviously, you had a gun at the ready if something should happen, but it was something that it was a gun was something that you knew how to use.
I grew up with it. Even when I was just a little boy, I had a BB gun, and I kind of grew up as a hunter. The people that I worked with, we all went hunting, and it was very good for me. I mean, so yes, I was very comfortable around guns. But prior to that incident, believe it or not, I mean, I never thought I would ever have to use a gun in any kind of situation like that.
And when we come back, let's talk about that, because I want to talk about the fallout afterwards. Had this girl shot and killed these burglars and then have to talk about it, have to deal with it, have to be investigated, have the white-hot spotlight of the media on them. I want you to speak to what that is like, and maybe that's something that people also maybe need to take into consideration, the fallout afterwards if you do use your weapon.
You're back with more Matt Patrick.
No, you did it!
KTRH News Time is 7:22. We all know that 911 call. That is Joe Horn doing what anyone would do in his situation, certainly what I would have done, protecting his own home, his life, his neighbor's property. Joining us this morning from Pasadena is Joe Horn. Joe, welcome back to Houston's Morning News. We're talking about this 15-year-old girl gaining a lot of support from the community after she chased away burglars by grabbing her father's gun. Had she used that gun, Joe, is the fallout afterwards something that people should consider when thinking about using lethal force?
Probably so, but keep in mind that in a situation like that, if you are that scared, or in my case, terrified, that thought doesn't cross your mind at the time. All you're trying to do is stay alive. So the fallout afterward becomes an issue because certainly if you were 15 years old and faced with a confrontation with reporters asking questions and so on and so forth, it would be absolutely overwhelming. It was so overwhelming for me, I had to hire an attorney to try to do my talking for me. Okay. And I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but I had made a promise to the police department that I would not go on any kind of interview because they were investigating my case.
And Joe, I know there was a lot of people that pushed back. There were people protesting in your neighborhood. Your neighbors came to your support, but there was an awful lot of people that wanted to see you go to jail. Thank God that didn't happen. But just going through that, Joe, I know was very difficult. And one of the reasons why you resist, even when we asked you to come on, you said, I'm not so sure I like doing that, but we appreciate you coming on this morning. But it's something that you really need to think about.
Well, it is, and you have to also understand that I had a bad situation with the Diane Sawyer interview,
yes,
and it really left a bad taste in my mouth. To be honest with you, I was blindsided on that.
Joe, you must stay away from liberals. I know that you've probably realized that now, correct?
Yeah, that's hindsight, though, right?
Indeed, it is hindsight. But
I learned a lesson,
and that's
I learned a lesson, and believe you me, if I thought any such things about your radio station, I wouldn't be here. So, and like I say, I really appreciate the support that you guys gave me.
And we're happy to do it, and we'll continue to do it. And I thank you for taking the time. Joe Horn from Pasadena, you take care of yourself, my friend, and I hope to talk to you again very soon, sir.
Matt, it was a pleasure, and just tell your listeners that be careful out there, okay?
You bet. You just did that. Thank you, my friend. Joe Horn joining us here this morning.